Hey guys, what's up? It's time to do a speed test comparison between the Infinix Note 30 Pro versus the Tecno Camon 20 Pro, and both phones is powered by same MediaTek Helio G99 SoC with 8GB of RAM, and you guys requested this a lot. So on the back we have a dual cameras on the Camon 20 Pro versus a triple cameras on the Infinix. And Tecno has 64 megapixel RGBW main camera, then we have 2 megapixel depth sensor, while Infinix has a 108 megapixel main camera, then we have 2 megapixel macro and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. And the back of the Infinix is made up of glass, while on the Tecno we have vegan leather finish, while other colors is give you a plastic back, and the frames on both phones is made up of plastic. And Tecno has an in-display fingerprint scanner which you don't find on the Infinix Note 30 Pro. We have fingerprint scanner inside the power button. So on the bottom we have our USB-C with headphone jack, and both phones also has a stereo speaker. So I am very excited to see that how is the Infinix Note 30 Pro is gonna perform against the Tecno Camon 20 Pro in apps opening speed as well as in the boot up test. And guys, now let's quickly boot both of these phones up at the same time. So logos came up first on the Infinix, and both phones is running on latest Android 13 XOS version 13 versus the iOS version 13. Again we have a glass back, so that is why this phone feels little more heavier as compared to the Tecno. Also feels more premium, which is a nice thing. So the Infinix Note 30 Pro, it is slightly faster when it comes to booting up. We only have 1 second difference between these two devices when it comes to booting up. And guys, now let's talk about the displays between these two devices. Infinix Note 30 Pro has a 6.67 inch Full HD Plus AMOLED display which can produce up to 1 billion colors. Also we have 120Hz refresh rate with a center punch hole on the top, and the bottom chain it is also really small on the Infinix, while on the other hand and Tecno also has a 6.67 inch Full HD Plus AMOLED with 120Hz refresh rate. We don't have a 10-bit display on the Tecno. Also the bottom chain it is actually more smaller on the Infinix Note 30 Pro if you guys see very closely. Again we have a center punch hole on both phones. So guys, everything's closed up in the background, no application is running in the background. Also we have same Wi-Fi network on both phones. So phone dialer, that is exactly the same. Now let's open settings, also exactly the same. Now let's go to the display. Again we have 120Hz refresh rate on both phones. You can also switch between from 120 to 90Hz all the way up to 60Hz in order to save your battery life. So now let's see Amazon shopping, some third-party stuff with same Wi-Fi network. The Tecno it is slightly faster. Scrolling wise at 120Hz it is really smooth on both phones, no difference in that area. Now let's open this tab, also very similar, same thing also here as well. So now check out some games application, and now let's see Candy Crush Saga, MediaTek Helio G99 on both phones. So exactly the same performance which is expected. And now let's open Instagram, slightly faster on the Tecno. Let's see Pinout it is exactly the same. Snapchat similar, Spotify also similar. And now let's see Subway Surfer. As you can see both phones is perform very similar, which is expected because we have same MediaTek Helio G99. So the Infinix Note 30 Pro is slightly faster, only half a second difference. Let me show the speakers on both phones. First on the Note 30 Pro. And here is the Tecno Camon 20 Pro. And I feel the speakers it is little more louder on the Tecno Camon 20 Pro. And now let's see Temper 2. And similar performance on both phones again in the Temper 2, which is expected. So now let's see PUBG Mobile. As you can see both phones is perform back and forth. So Tecno it is slightly faster, as you can see. Also in that game we have smooth graphics with ultra frame rate on both phones, and the game performance it is exactly the same on both phones because we have same hardware, same GPU and same software. So now let's open X. Slightly faster on the Tecno. Now let's open Zedge, and Zedge it is exactly the same as well. So now let's see the scrolling first. Now let's remove that. Scrolling phase really smooth on both phones. Yes, in the start we see some FPS drop, but now it is at 120 Hz all the time. So last I'm launching the cameras on both phones, default camera application. So let's see which one will faster. And the camera is open up faster on the Tecno Camon 20 Pro. As far as the cam performance are concerned, I feel that yes, the cam performance it is slightly better on the Infinix Note 30 Pro. Now let's look at the front facing camera. Both phones has a 32 megapixel selfie camera. So you can see in the selfie camera it is slightly better on the Tecno. Okay guys, now let's see internet browsing speed. So I am using Chrome on both phones with same Wi-Fi network of course. So now let's open wikipedia.org, and that is very similar. Scrolling fees really smooth, same thing zooming out. And now let's open that, also very similar performance, 120 Hz it is working. So next on the list is apple.com, and apple.com it is exactly the same. Scrolling wise, 120 Hz it is exactly the same, as well as exactly the smooth on both phones. So now let's see RAM measurement on both phones, and both phones has 8 GB of RAM with extended RAM feature of course. Let's see how both phones is gonna perform in the RAM measurement. Phone dialer still there, settings still there, Amazon shopping still there, Candy Crush Saga still there, Instagram, pin out, Snapchat, Spotify, Subway Surfer. You can see RAM measurement is really good on both phones. Temper and 2, PUBG, still no refresh. Now let's open X, Zedge, and last we're back to the internet browser where we left. As you can see, excellent RAM measurement performance on both phones. And guys, over I have to say regarding the apps opening speed, as you can see that both phones is perform exactly the same in system based applications as well as in games. So the MediaTek Helio G99 is perform exactly the same on both phones, which is a really nice thing. So in terms of the RAM wise, in that area we have excellent RAM measurement on both phones, noticing a refresh. So guys, over I have to say, if you need a smartphone between these devices and the Tecno Camon 20 Pro, it is a more value phone for money as compared to the Infinix Note 30 Pro. And also we have 5000 mAh battery size on both phones, but we have 33 watt fast charging versus a 68 watt on the Infinix Note 30 Pro. We also have 15 watt wireless charging as well as a 4.5 watt reverse wireless charging, which you don't find at all on the Tecno. So that's about it, and thank you so much for watching this speed test comparison between the Infinix Note 30 Pro versus the Tecno Camon 20 Pro. So do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe to my channel for daily tech videos like this, and follow me on Instagram as well as on X, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out.